listening to
Split the Defense.
Leafs Postgame Edition.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by the Forest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas. Alongside co-host Craig Pearce and producer Ted Evans, here's your host, Jordan Webster.
What up, and welcome to Split the Defense, Leafs Post-Game Edition. I'm Webby with CP and producer Ted. Leafs lose 5-3 to the Colorado Avalanche. The Leafs are now 6 points back of Florida with 2 games in hand. Things aren't getting any better in the standings race there. Before we get started, and we will talk to you, producer Ted, we see you there. Before we get started here, please take a second, drop a like on the episode, subscribe to our YouTube, rate it 5 stars on whatever podcasting platform you're consuming from. How did you feel about that, Ted?
Oh, boys, you got to know how I felt about that. Yeah, that was such a fun game. I got to mention it. CP said right away, you having fun, Ted, when we were down 3-0. And when we were up 4-3, I was thinking, yes, I am. And then we got that empty netter. Martin Jones flopping like a fish on the friggin' third goal. Oh, my God. I loved it. I loved every minute of that. That was sick. That's exactly
Ted
the team I know.
Pumped.
That's the team I know. You can't stop us. We can stop Matthews. We can stop Marner. Can't stop Nate. Woo, woo, woo.
I mean, he's not wrong. That's the problem.
I know.
He's not wrong. I feel so rough after this one.
Yeah, we can see it in your face. We can hear it in your voice. Producer Ted is pumped. So, to start the game, we have 7 All-Stars, 5 of the top 12 scorers in the league in this game tonight.
Yes.
High firepower, lots of scoring. We did have Nichushkin out sick. And Martin Jones got another start tonight with the Leafs getting another game against Detroit tomorrow night. It started off with the Leafs scoring 3 goals.
Yeah.
It started with Domi with a shot from distance. A knuckle puck almost takes out Manson's teeth and sneaks past Georgiev 1-0. Then the second goal was Riley stripping Taze to make a quick move and bury backhand. The third goal is a mad scramble in front of the Avs net, and Liljegren sneaks in and makes it 3-0 on a loose puck in the slot. And I was thinking, oh boy, so now what's going to happen? Because, I knew at that point it was not over. There was no point in me that I was like, oh, this game's over. I live bet the Avs boys made a little bit of money. So Gio takes a holding penalty. Kampf takes a penalty off that face-off off that penalty. But the Avs win the draw, so the puck stays alive. Brody avoids touching the puck to try to avoid an extended 5-on-3 or some stupid idea he had. McKinnon feeds Colton, who taps it to Drouin in front, making it 3-1, and this is where everything went downhill. After that, Girard shot from the point, blocked by a Leaf, bounces to Rantanen, who buries 3-2, and the third goal was very similar. Manson's shot was blocked, and hometown boy Andrew Cogliano picks up the loose puck in the high slot and snipes it past Jones, making it 3-3, tie game. Intensity ensues. I thought maybe we'd go to overtime and get another loser point because that's just how the Leafs roll. But not tonight.
No.
The Avs say. Duran drops to Rantanen. Rantanen feeds McKinnon. He stops up quick, dusts it off a few times, and beats Jones with a wrister 4-3.
What a sieve. That was
and
sick.
that was it. We thought Ross Colton misses an open net once, and I thought, oh boy, this might be the chance there where they bring it back.
I was sweating.
Yeah.
I was a William Nylander goal away from a massive parlay tonight, boys. A massive parlay. 1 Nylander goal away, so that's unfortunate. But after that, Ross Colton gets a second attempt on the open net about 15 seconds later. He doesn't miss. 5-3.
Yes.
So initial reactions, we got Ted's initial reaction. My initial reactions to this game was, well, we had this discussion last week, and look where we are now after playing a couple of good teams, CP. That's kind of how it is for the Leafs, right? Yeah. You're going to play a better team. We're like, oh, yeah, California, everything's going great. We're just going to be a great team through the rest of the National Hockey League, and that's not how it works. You go and you play better teams. It's a tougher game, and the Leafs show their true colors by blowing a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, don't
A
poke the bear.
3-goal lead. This is the Leafs, and this is who they are. This is who they've been, and we see this often enough that you expect it when they're up 3 goals. How are they going to screw this one up is what I'm asking myself halfway through the game. And, I don't really know where to think of the Leafs. Like, they're still that mid team. They need pieces. Yeah. They're not there yet because they just can't shut down. You know what the best thing about, it's the superstars. You know what the best thing about Colorado superstars are? They all have a fucking thing where they're like huge or super speed or like, it's like every single one of them is an Avenger. Like they all have a fucking thing, right? Our guys are really, really good, but like Austin Matthews scores goals, but like it's not the same. They were not the same teams playing tonight. You could clearly see one team had more firepower on their top line.
There was a lot of there were a lot of calls. Okay, let's talk about a little bit about the penalties quick. I just want to mention the calls and non-calls both ways, obviously. The cross-check on Matthews, I was hoping he was okay. Obviously, you never like to see anyone injured.
What was
there
that?
No call on that. But, yeah, when I watched it, I was like, oh, my God, that could be like a cracked rib or something. And then they went to commercial, and I was like, what are they not showing us here? And it came back, at least the broadcast I was watching. And the announcers, man, they must have been watching a different game. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's so Toronto biased. And I know you guys don't see it. You don't hear it. You can't agree with me on this because you don't see it. But it's insane watching it.
Well, yeah, it was the Toronto
There's a save
broadcast
that Georgiev made, and he lost it for like half a second, and the announcer made such a big deal about how he'd lost it, and he couldn't see it, and oh, my God, he had lost it. Martin Jones did the same thing, and he's like, great save by Jones. And it's just the little things sometimes. It's not even like stuff that really matters, but it's like these little things as an outsider, you're like, can you guys just like watch the actual game and not?
I mean, I can't accept this. I don't.
I know you wouldn't.
No, we're not getting into this. We should be talking about the game first. But like, when you watch the Avs broadcast, it couldn't be more biased towards the Avalanche. And like, we have to deal with watching a national broadcast night in night out where the announcers will not pick a side. So like, I won't agree with you there. Like that can't.
I knew you wouldn't.
They're like, we're just begging for an announcer to be pro Leafs here, and all they will is sit on the fence. So like, let's not go there.
The whole thing was Leafs. The whole thing, the refs too, and the crowd calling for penalties, and then Keefe getting mad, red in the face about stuff.
I mean, don't you think that was a penalty? Like that was unreal.
Yes, but what about all the other calls? It's so funny how
also
much
on that
what was another call? Name another
away
call.
With so much shit. And Brody, the one that tripped right in front of the net, or right in front of the bench, both benches, completely uncalled. Brody spearing a guy and then slashing the other guy, no call, just nothing, just not even, just tomahawk, just slash. But that's cool. That's cool.
I mean, you won. Like, I don't want to hear about your complaints about the penalties here, bud. Like, I mean,
it's
the thing is I'm so upset about that cross check.
We can get through that.
I'm so upset about the cross check on Matthews. A, because it was a friggin' penalty, and B, because where was the rest of the team to just come and stick up for him? Like, it's the biggest reminder of how soft this team is. And Daryl in the chat here, he's the one that said it, soft like butter. But like, I mean, I couldn't believe it. As soon as that happened, I was like, here's a test. Like, here, let's see if the team is going to stick up for their number one guy. And
it must have been something Manson said because there was a bit of a crowd around him, but
whatever.
Manson obviously he's not a malicious guy in any way.
What? Manson?
He's clearly a malicious guy.
He's like one of the most malicious guys on your team.
He wasn't trying to injure Matthews.
That's his thing.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
No, he wasn't.
Like, don't give me that. Yeah. He knows exactly where he's hitting them. It's the one spot where there's no padding. He knows exactly what he's doing.
No.
I mean, that's his intention. And I'm not it's nothing against Josh Manson. I wish he was on our team and guys on our team
did
that.
It's a play in the boards.
No.
He's not intentionally trying to hurt Matthews.
But how did Steve Dangle put it, though?
Ridiculous.
How does he says, kudos to Josh Manson for remembering cross-checking Austin Matthews as hard as you possibly can is just kind of allowed.
Yeah.
That's not abnormal for what happens to Austin Matthews. Like, it's not like he doesn't receive that night in and night out from lots of players in the league.
What's the intention
and it
on
wasn't
the spear
super
from
malicious.
Brody? What's an intention there?
I didn't see that.
I admit it.
course.
I would love to have Manson on our team trying to injure other teams as well. I mean, it's one of the great things about him is he's willing to throw a big hit. He'll do the dirty things. Like, I don't know why you're fighting against it. It's a positive for your player.
Because it's
Well,
not
you can't
malicious,
deny
it's
it's
not
not
supposed to
happening.
be dirty. It's a hard play, but I don't think he's like, fuck you,
Dirt.
Austin Matthews,
Okay.
I'm trying to break
No,
your,
no,
your
I'm not.
ribs.
It's not a dirty. Well,
That's
I guess
all I mean by malicious.
I don't know.
Like
I
being
called
hard
who
on
was
a
it?
puck is good hockey. It's not being malicious is like trying to injure a guy. is what I
Yeah,
meant by
like
that.
it's not like he cross-checked him to the face. I'm not
No.
saying that like he went out there
Yeah.
and he deserves to be suspended. I'm just saying that like, it should be a penalty. It's either a cross-check or a boarding
I
penalty.
could see
I
it
don't.
being a two.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. I'm not saying anything more than that. I'm just
No,
saying
I'm
like
not
call the
gonna call it
penalty or the
clean. I'm
team
not
come
gonna
in
say
to
it
do
was-
something.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, I would love that play for our team, and I would take that 2-minute penalty if they did that to McKinnon every day. Like
I could see it being like a makeup thing for another non-call, like the trip that happened, and they say, well,
Sure.
we don't call a.
they're just
blatant
not
trip.
equivalent.
Yes, but yes,
Yeah,
2 minutes.
Fair enough. So, boys, to just highlight how good the Avs were tonight, the line of Jonathan Drouin, Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, which was the top line, they had 15 minutes and 21 seconds on the ice tonight. There's only 2 more lines listed on Natural Stat Trick for 5-on-5, and that's Kiviranta, Colton, and O'Connor, and then Cogliano, Johansson, and Poland, and they both had less than 10 minutes. So all of those lines were over 69% in expected goals for. All of those lines. That's crazy at the end of the night for the Leafs. I expected to see the Nathan McKinnon, Drouin, Rantanen line to be more into the 90s when I looked this up. But even at 77 or whatever it is, 77.83, the Leafs did not have a good night. So on the other end of that, what do I got here? The Leafs, so you had their best line was Calle Yarncroke, Max Domi, Pontus Holmberg had a 94% expected goals for.
Unreal.
Okay. Unbelievable. That's
The
a
one
cool
line we're complaining about always, and they're the one line that shows up in this game.
Then everybody else was below 50%, and Tyler Bertuzzi, John Tavares, and William Nylander had a 14.69 expected goals for.
Oof.
Wow.
Is that why do you think the line juggling was kind of going on a little bit at the end there?
Oh,
That's why
desperate.
Willie ended up playing with Matthews and Marner, yes, and their expected goals for was 41. Still
John
not
calls it
great.
trash
Awesome.
Look at
Yeah.
hockey, right?
I mean, like,
Yeah, so not great.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, if you go into my general idea of this team right now, and that game in particular, is that like the Avalanche had stars that showed up, and the Leafs had like, I don't know. You could tell that Matthews was really trying, and you could tell that Marner was trying, but just was unable to do absolutely anything he wanted to do. And like Marner, he's just always I like to give him praise because he loves this team and he loves playing for it. But I mean, like, he just disappears absolutely always when it really matters. And it's hard for Matthews to be a successful player when he's more of a goal scorer than a play creator. And I mean, this is where maybe Nylander should be just on Matthews' line at all times. And we shouldn't keep going back to this because Marner on that line works when it's easy. Like when we were playing all those Western teams, like easy games, like has lots of space. But as soon as there's like any real challenge or looks anything like a playoff game, and he just like is unable to complete anything that he does in all those easy games. And I hate to like hate on him so much, but I mean, he's kind of like, he's the identity of what's wrong with this team. It's just like a guy that is all about the fancy stuff, not about when it gets really gritty and like when it matters. There's no star on the Avalanche that I would question when it gets gritty and when it matters. Like, I mean, I know that they've proved it to us in like a Stanley Cup run, but it's just, I don't know. I see nothing of that matter in this Leafs team other than Matthews trying really hard. You see Willie in spurts, like being able to control and trying to create something, but it also disappears too. So I don't know. It's
gotta be
these are the
deflating.
eye opener. The last 2 games have just been the most like playoff hockey, and it sucked. I mean,
Tyler Bertuzzi's been good, but like Is he $5.5 million good? Like, that's
No.
what I kind of wonder. Like, has that kind of been a bit of
Not
a mistake?
production-wise.
We expected more from Tyler Bertuzzi, and he really hasn't been. Like, he's been buried because they've been winning, and he's gotten a couple points. Every time you want to go, Tyler Bertuzzi's not good. He gets 2 points or scores 2 games in a row or something, and
Just
then he
skimming
goes off,
in.
and he's not good forever. Like, and you know, like they don't have anybody else when those guys aren't going to pick it up, and that's been the problem time in and time out. And you're right, when it gets tighter, that's when we start to see these things and start to have these conversations again, because when they're winning, we don't talk about this. Nobody talks about this. We just talk about how great Mitch Marner is and how William Nylander's worth $11.5 million. But then when you see them play the New York Islanders and then the Colorado Avalanche, you see this team turn back into a pumpkin, and you say, oh yeah, I forgot. They are very flawed still when it comes to playing the top teams in the league. The Islanders aren't even a top team in the league.
No.
And they had a tough game against them, right? Like, they didn't play their best game at all. And now they have to go back tomorrow and try and play Detroit. And I don't know if this group can do it. I want to say they just have to put their heads down and they're just going to keep going. I'm just going to outward positivity like Ted and the Avs. Like, yeah, they've got it in them. They'll just do it. But I've seen this
Not
so
me.
many fucking times, time in and time out and time again, that it's like, no, they fucking won't. Prove to me that they will, and then I will agree with you that yes, they will. They'll just make it through it. But no, I don't think they will. I think they're going to continue to shit the bed when it comes to be hard times in the league. And that's what we were talking about last week. Like, this is all fun and great, but like, we need, not even Martin Jones' fault. We need a better team all around. Like, I don't even know when it comes down to coaching. Man, we might even need a better coach. You don't even know what it is at this point, but it's not quite there. It's a really, really, really good team that's just not quite there. And it shows, because when we come up against these tighter teams, they show their flaws every time. And it's not like that flaw has changed in 7 years. It's been the same problem. They haven't come out and filled the one hole and created another. They've never filled the one hole. They've never come out and had team toughness. They've never come out.
I'm going to keep doing the
Said-
eyebrows every time you say it.
You know, in baseball, if you're scoring a lot of runs but you can't play defense, then you might maybe trade some bats for some gloves. And in hockey, it might be the same thing, trading skill for grit, and that's how you're supposed to do it. But it's been the same thing year in and year out, and there's just never been a team toughness around, a grittiness around the core and around the. I mean, I just don't know what we actually need at this point to come in and be confident that we're up 3-0 against the Colorado Avalanche. Yes, we're going to hold it. Even though the Colorado Avalanche are a good team, we're not discrediting them, but we're confident enough in our team. We've seen them do it, and we know that they can do it. Hold a 3-0 lead against a good team. Nobody in the league is doing this, is the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody's giving up leads all the time. So where are we going to go out and get a player, and how are we going to fix this? I don't know what they can do at this point to fix these games and get through them and win our confidence, because we've seen it time in and time out, and they keep trying and going this and trying that and getting Tyler Bertuzzi and Max Domi, and that doesn't work. And I mean, they're in third place. I'll give them that. They're in third place, but they're not gaining ground, and they're losing ground in the last 2 games. Florida's won their last 2 games. So, I mean,
Yeah, but you're
lost
talking
today,
about like
but either
well, they lost today.
Either way.
you're talking about the exterior players, and like this team has always had a problem with the core 4. It's been a problem for many years. Kyle Dubas was like just figured out that this was the issue, and as soon as he figured it out, he's fired and out of town. And so and the problem now is that there's no solution. Like, I hate to be like a Debbie Downer, but like everybody has trade protection. The one guy that we could trade in William Nylander is like, we just gave him a lot of money, and like you can trade him to a 10-team list, but there's no way that that's going to work at this point. Like, and he's probably the guy that I want to keep around, you know. And Mitch Marner has full no trade move. Tavares full no trade move. So like the guys that you would like to trade, you can't. So like, I don't know what to tell you about this other than just letting Marner walk at the end of next season, which is no good for anybody, because you know, if he's not going to accept going anywhere, then like you're just shit out of luck. So I don't know. It's like I'm kind of at a point now where like I thought that like the one thing that I was critiquing last time about the third line is like it's the one thing that worked. So like when things get tough, it's just the big stars disappear, and it's a perfect example against the Avalanche where like their stars are truly stars. And maybe this is where Ted's been right about a loaded top
Game
line
breakers.
because like when that line was out there, it's like there was nothing the Leafs could do. Like
Nothing.
Keefe put every single combination of lines out there against them, and no one could control them. So
Now,
and
the
it's
first period was a little bit different, and I noticed
Well,
the Avs
yeah.
being quite like other than the 3 goals and all that, but the Avs
They
were
got a
like
little lucky.
off. Like every pass they were making was just a little off. It was a little like hesitant. They were like, it seemed like they were just making mistakes, and the Leafs were picking up on it and turning it around, taking it down the ice, and actually scoring. And as the game went on, I noticed that shift right away in the second period where the Avs started making passes, and the Leafs were doing that exact same thing where I was doing that thing. Every time the Avs did it, I'd be like, ugh. And I could see Nathan McKinnon doing it too a few times. They'd miss a little pass that should have just been an easy little play, and you see him just look to the sky. And then I noticed the Leafs kind of do it. Like it shifted, and there was something there. I don't know if it's a confidence thing or slow your game down. And I watched Nate literally slow it right down and score a goal in front. He was kind of on the move, and he just stopped and went, you know what, hold on. Let this player slide out of the way, and then just shoot. And I think, I don't know, maybe this is something the Leafs, I noticed them looking a little frustrated. JT punching the bench when he took the penalty. Willie even looked a little shocked by that. Keith red in the face.
That was shocking.
Right? He punch it. Yeah, a little emotion from JT. But yeah, it was, I don't know. It was, I don't know, just something I think to consider going forward other than answers without outside the group. If looking inside the group, maybe just a little team bonding, little, get things connected again, get the confidence back to players all the way through the 60 minutes. You can score 3 goals and somehow lose confidence. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but you're talking about an issue we've been talking about for 5 years. I know we've only had a podcast for 4.5 months, but I mean, for 5 years, that's just been the issue here. Is that I always have it written on my papers. What 2 periods will they play? Because like there's never a third one. If it is, we talk about it like crazy that they played a full 60 minutes, and tonight they played 20.
It's always a conversation, yeah.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah. And I mean, the Stars didn't show up. Like, I mean, you had a goal from Domi, which he hasn't been bad. Like when I was saying like, oh, we got Domi and we got Bertuzzi and it's still not working, and like blame those guys. I'm not blaming those guys. I'm saying we have good support players now. Who's not showing up? It's the Stars. You had a goal from Domi, you had a goal from Riley, you had a goal from Liljegren.
right.
Where was Matthews? How come we don't have a game-breaking star like Nate McKinnon going into the zone and owning it? How come our lines, we have to scramble them all the time because we don't have a guy who can just own a line? Like, it'd be nice to have Austin Matthews doing things like that. Would have been nice for him to have a little more own and control and,
He just isn't that guy, though.
He's not that guy.
Yeah, he's never been the guy that can just, like take control of the puck, like, be faster than absolutely everybody, not lose the control like McKinnon or McDavid. Like, he needs another person on that line to do those things for him. And the problem is that the guy on his line is Marner to do that, and he disappears at this time. Mm-hmm. And we always seem to go back to that Marner is that guy for him because, like, they can do some pretty incredible stuff at certain points. But so can everybody in practice or in when there's nobody in front of them. Like, if there's no defenseman, like, yeah, you can do some pretty stuff. But
yeah, when you have room.
Yeah, but it's just in the NHL, and especially against great teams, and when it comes to playoffs, you don't have space. It's all about the other stuff. So, like, I don't know. Like, the problem also is that, like, the amount of players that I'm talking about, like the Matthew Tkachuk's and, like, the Rantanens and, like, the great secondary players that you can rely on, like, no one's trading them. And, like, Matthew Tkachuk was available, and we didn't trade for him. So, I mean, there's a limited amount of those players that can actually change an identity of your team. You know,
now, like, he wouldn't have signed here, right? That's why we didn't.
Yeah, no way. Okay. Like, although how amazing! Like, that's just fantasy, but
yeah,
the Battle of Ontario
flip flops
would have just
tank
been
tops,
unreal.
Cowboy hats.
Yeah, he wasn't coming here, so I don't know. It's like and the players here have to figure this out. There's no like trade solution that
that's what I'm saying.
Fan base is going to figure out, but like. I don't know. I feel like I've seen this team enough and I've watched enough years of them that they're always the exact same when shit actually matters.
So when we've always tried to split it up and have two strong lines. What if we go more of a super line, and you put Matthews, Marner, Nylander on the same line as they did tonight, and that's just what they roll with. They get
Always.
chemistry, and when
Yeah.
one guy maybe goes cold, Nylander can start playmaking more. Because not like Marner can't shoot. It's not like Nylander can't shoot. All those guys can shoot. Matthews can still play make, and he draws lots of attention to him. So, I mean, that could be a good line. That might just be how they need to do this going forward. Literally out-dominate and out-craft the other team because they just don't have that two lines of balance, grit, skill, toughness, goal scoring, passing. They're trying to build a perfectly balanced two lines, and they just never have found it because they don't have enough. Like you have, too many. You get two of the three things is basically it. You only get two, and you need three, and it's like you can never find that third one. You want toughness or you want skill. You want pass, like whatever. Like that's the whole point. And what they need to do, I think, is maybe just go with that power style first line of Matthews, Nylander, Marner, and let them roll. Let them roll for the rest of the season. Let Tavares figure it out with Yarncroke and Nyes. Those guys are still going to get top 6 minutes. Yarncroke's defensively sound. And I mean, Nyes and Tavares have played well off of each other before. So I think it could be good. I think, obviously not going to have such a strong second line, but look at the Avs second line tonight. It was no world-beating second line. Yeah. They kept up with the Leafs and were just fine. So, why not make the shift? And Keefe did tonight. He made the shift. He tried those guys out, and I hope he continues out. I hope he continues to try that out going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. I doubt that he's going to, and to me, I feel like the best line combination that I want to see is Matthews, Nylander, and Bertuzzi, because that seems more of a dynamic that I like in a team where you have Bertuzzi that's more of a in the corner, go get the puck, also a playmaker that helps Matthews where he has multiple playmakers because Matthew Nyes isn't a playmaker to help him out. And so that might be the powerhouse.
No, it just seems like another experiment. You can
maybe, but
sure,
I just don't. I don't think that Marner. I mean, I guess
I vouch for
we just haven't seen it enough. But.
Why are you so hesitant to have the Marner, Nylander, Matthews? Why is Keefe so hesitant to do it? Why do you have to spread the talent out when it clearly just go out and let them wreak havoc. Let them own all the goals on the team. Just do it.
Yeah.
It just seems like an easy line to defend, and once you've got that shut down, then the rest of the team's not going to be great either. So. I feel like there's just
that's not true. I mean, their 3 goals tonight didn't come from those guys. They were shut down anyways. But if they have chemistry and they're used to doing it, because those 3 guys, as much as they do play together, they're not used to playing together. They didn't start the night together. They didn't take every shift together. That's not how it's been for 2 years. And if it was over 2 years, and if they would have got their head out of their asses and just played a superstar top line 2 years ago and figured all this out instead of trying to supplement, Kyle Dubas signed an $11 million center. We've got to have 2 good lines. You can't have a mid-second line. We have to have 2 good lines because we signed an $11 million superstar center, except for it's not fucking working. So maybe try the top line, over heavy, superstar top line with 3 of your young guns and leave Tavares to run his own line with fucking Anders Lee and fucking whoever else he had on there, Josh Bailey, and make them look like superstars.
Trade him back to the Islanders, you mean?
No, you know what I mean? No,
yeah, I do.
That's who he had. He had Matt Molson on his line at one time. Who the fuck is that guy? Jesus. I'm just saying. My whole point is that you don't need to have maybe that second good line. Maybe the whole point of learning tonight is that. You need to have that game-breaking line. You need to have game-breaking players. And if those players aren't the game-breaking players, then try to load them up and see if they are. If they aren't, then fucking get new ones till we find one.
Yeah, you just can't get new ones though. That's the problem. Is that you can't just go to the store and buy a new friggin',
Not this year.
No, or most.
Well, we didn't win last year. We didn't win the year before that. We didn't win fucking the 50 years before that. But at least fucking 7 years since we've had the hope that we would win before that. So at this point, fucking try something new. That's all I'm asking. Just try something new.
Yeah, I feel like everything with this group has been tried, and I know that we haven't gone a really long time with seeing those combinations of players that you saw, but I've seen Marner enough that it wouldn't matter if those 2 were on the line from the get go. He would have been shut down regardless. And so now, yes, I think that Willie on the line with Matthews would then generate then you have a second option. But I think I
And
like.
then
I don't
maybe
want to
they
just
go to
hate on
Willie and it
Marner all
gives
the
Marner
time.
more
But
space. Maybe because now they've got Willie to worry about with all that creation. Oh shit! Now we got to be on more on him. Well,
Maybe.
now you can't smother Marner as much, and now Marner gets more space, and it's just a tandem effect back and forth where there's always space opening up for somebody, and whoever that somebody is, they're dope.
well, then Matthews
Not just the
always
filler
gonna be
guy
the
getting the
digging
fucking
out in
puck.
the corners too.
I don't care who
not
digs
just
the puck
someone
out
who's
in the
gonna
corner.
benefit.
I don't give a shit who it is. Everybody go and dig it in the fucking corner. You're all
They
good enough
don't.
to put the puck in the net. Go and do it. That's what I'm saying. That's the way it needs to be. It's the way it should be. Is that a play style thing? Are we talking now into do they need a new coach? Like, just because they lost two in
Maybe,
a row, are we
yeah.
going to sit here and be like, Sheldon Keefe needs to be fired?
They're
Lost 2
important
games in a
too,
row.
though.
Like,
Like it's not like these aren't important 2 games. Like this is like we've been
They are,
totally
but-
like just after the positive energy from the being on the road and getting wins against shitty teams, and like now it's like, okay, prove it that that's your team, and then they don't. So like
So,
I don't know.
Yeah, what do you take from it? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough. Not
I know
to-
we have to have these conversations, but like that's why I say I think we're getting a little too far into this because like I just like they have to do
Maybe.
something to change our minds. Like, let's be honest, guys. At any point, a switch could just flip, and the Toronto Maple Leafs could be the most dominant team in the NHL, and we wouldn't know why or what happened. I.e., St. Louis Blues. When they go and win a cup, you know, they came through. They were absolute dog shit until Christmas. After that, they were the hottest team in the NHL. They came back. They got into the playoffs, and then they ended up going through and winning the cup. And how and why, we don't know. Shit's crazy. I'm just saying they might know that somewhere in there they have it, but they do not have us bought on the fact that they are going to do any better than they've done in years past. Us as fans, us as media,
No way.
we do not believe in this team, and for good reason. Because when we go, you know what would have been nice to have us California swing, come through, beat the Islanders, come through tonight, 3-0 against the Avs, shut it down. That's how the game ends. Over. 3-0. Stars don't score, all shut down. They learn how to button up games. Vancouver won a game today, 1-0 against Buffalo. When the last time we played Buffalo, how did that turn out? Oh yeah, 9-3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn how to win a game, guys. Like, just learn how to do it. Just button up games. Be nice to have these 5 games that they would have won it come through and been like, yeah, I'm confident. I feel like this team's changed. That would have been a nice feeling, and that's just not where we are tonight. We're right back to the exact same spot we were before the California trip going, oh shit, yeah, this isn't good. And we knew this was going to happen. We had these conversations last week that there's potential for them to come back, shit the bed against these 2 teams, and us to be saying, uh-oh, who do you trade, who do you fire, and it's not going well, and we can't expect that much from Jones. The thing is like, do you think Jones is really even the problem?
No, I like he was totally fine. He made some big saves actually tonight. Like not at one point was Jones the problem. I don't know. I feel like the defense actually did pretty well because they got hemmed in a lot. I think it was more than just like a forward problem. Like just couldn't transition the puck into the other end, couldn't keep the puck in the other end. I mean, it just felt like every time that Cal McCarr got the puck or Nathan McKinnon got the puck, something was happening. And every time that like William Nylander or John Tavares, Marner got the puck, like it just wasn't happening. Or like I guess there was a few things that like all those players did well, but that's just giving them way too much credit compared to what Stars do for like teams like Colorado. So I don't know. Like I'm at a point. I'm a little frustrated at the moment here. So like at the moment, I'm just like it's like trade them all. I don't even care. Like other than Matthews, but like I mean,
Dump 'em. That's what I was saying
tomorrow-
earlier too.
yeah, tomorrow I might feel a little different, but I don't know. At this moment, I just feel like the Marner identity of this team just sinks way too deep, and it's just I don't like it, but I also don't know how you fix that because the guy has his own choice of whether he wants to be here, and guess what? He does. Like this is the team that probably the only team in the league that he actually wants to play for. So,
Well,
I
then
don't
he
know.
better prove it and take a hell of a lot less. He
Oh.
better take pretty much an identical contract. Like take 11.5. You
Yeah,
make
but that's
it.
2
I
years
want you to
from
take
now.
11.5 by 8. That's what you're going to take too. Yeah,
Yeah.
then it's going to be a discount. And that's what
I
you need to make.
friggin' hope
Because
so.
if you want to play here and you want to stay here and you want to make this work, if that's
That's
true,
still-
and you really care just so much about where you play, that's the whole thing. There's always this, I want to play here. These guys, they really love to play here. I want to stay. I love Toronto. Like, I'm in Toronto. Toronto's home. And then, could you take a few million off or like 500K? Like 750 maybe? Like, could you knock it down? Like, I mean, Matthews sure is a discount because he's a great player. Nylander sure he's the discount, but like there's been contracts that have been signed in the league plenty of times where even when they were signed, we go, wow, that's a huge discount. Wow, that's a huge discount. And it comes into taxes and whatever. But if Marner wants to stay, he can't be taking 13.25 like Matthews. He's not going to get 12.5. He's going to have to take less if he wants to stay. And I can't wait for the day that John Tavares makes $5 million. Because when he does and all of these things go away, it's like, oh, thank God, finally. But then Matthew Nyes is going to need $6 million contract or something like that. So just wait. Now we'll be paying Matthew Nyes and John Tavares a combined $11 million, and it'll all be the same.
Yeah, I mean the discount, if Marner was to take a discount, like, I don't know, but that's just so far away. So it doesn't make me feel better about this season or next season. So yeah, potentially in 2 years from now, I might be a happy Leaf fan, but at the moment, it's not that case.
Yeah. So you got anything else there, CP?
I don't know what else I want to get into other. No, I don't know.
No, we're good to go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll be back anyways tomorrow. You
I
can let
got,
off a little more steam then.
Yeah, what do you
got
got,
something there, Ted?
Yeah. Again, just something to see from the game, kind of that shift that happened. I think, and not just how the Leafs only play 2 periods, but that's something against a team like the Avs. It obviously can't happen. Like, it's not something like it's the conversation, but the Avs, you had us scared. You had us like friggin' scared, on our heels, 3 goals down. I thought, Georgie's, the floodgates are open. You guys are going to take this game. And I was worried. I really was. And I don't know if the players ever had that. I've heard players say that Nate definitely says things like to the team. They'll go into the dressing room losing, and he'll say stuff like, "We are winning this game." And they're like, he's so confident about it that you just can't not go out and win. And I don't know. Confidence is our key, I think, for the Avs. So it was just nice to see them come back, get another comeback win.
I know. I could tell that you were shook up when CP sent the message about how you feeling, and you didn't respond. And then I was like, okay, he's gonna respond, and then he doesn't respond, and it's like one of those serial killer movies where you haven't seen the killer yet. And then I was just waiting, and then another goal comes in, and another goal comes in. Oh shit! It's a tie game. Oh fuck! Oh fuck! Nate McKinnon! Oh no! And he texts, and I was like, ping! I'm like, oh, there it is! Oh, there it is! He's with the knife. Tab from the top ropes. I'm like, I knew he was waiting. I just knew he was waiting to drop that in. Should the Leafs play Samsonov tomorrow? From John Weichel. I hope I said your name right. Sorry, John, if I didn't. The Leafs are probably going to play Samsonov tomorrow. I do have one more topic that we can get into before. Dennis Hildeby pitched a shutout today or yesterday, and an 8-0 win for the Marlies. So there could be a paper transaction. It could be a transaction where Samsonov is taken back off the books. He goes to the Marlies and gets some practice in, and Hildeby comes up and plays that game. Because after a shutout and after already being dope, coming up here, going back, being dope again, I don't know, maybe they'll give him a shot. Maybe they just put Samsonov back in because they want to see what they have. He's still a $3.5 million goaltender that had a .915 save percentage, and he says he's feeling better. I think they're going to have to give him another shot at some point. Let's not wait until it matters, right?
Yeah.
So
I have 2 answers for this. Like, should they put Samsonov in? Probably. He makes a lot of money. He's proven that he can be a good goaltender. Do I want them to put him in? Not at all. I'd rather see Hildeby. I'd rather see what that can be, because either way, Samsonov is going to be in the minor leagues anyway. Once Wall comes back, there's no way you're sending Jones down and keeping Samsonov. So, I mean, I'd rather just see what you have in Hildeby. What can he do against NHL shots in a real NHL game? Because there's no way for the rest of the season, regardless of what Samsonov does, is he probably taking the backup spot, but is he even being on this roster? So,
yeah, but maybe if maybe their hope is that they can get him back and he can play 900 goaltending, 900 hockey, and
for the
then
Marlies?
trade deadline comes and you can flip him. Maybe it doesn't take very much to flip him. Maybe you can flip him for future considerations. Fuck, maybe he plays so good but you still want to keep Jones and Wool. He plays decent enough in that stretch, but you still don't have faith in him. They could still want to flip him for maybe a pick. They might get something just to get the cap space to make another move somewhere else because they haven't needed him. Right?
I feel
so,
like
who knows? I think he needs to play. I think he needs to play for the Leafs to have value for him. I think he needs to play to see what they have, if they could even use him. Like, what if he goes out, he pitches one shutout, we go, I don't trust him. Then he comes in, lets in one goal in the next 3 games he plays, and we go, oh, well,
Still
Sammy's
won't.
back.
Nope.
Like,
Goalies to me, like, once you've broken that trust, like, it's pretty hard to get it back. And it's not that he just had 1 or 2 bad games and he's just trying to find it. Like, yeah, like he was bad. And then he went away, and then he came back, and he was still bad.
And he was bad.
And then he stayed here, and then he came back, and then he's still bad. And then he's like even worse. And so and he's upset the entire time. And
you want to throw another wrench in there? Matt Murray is healthy and skating again.
Okay, yeah. That scares me. That scares the shit out of me. Because goalies are off. Like, if that guy came back and his $5 million or whatever he makes, like, oh my God, what does that guy actually make? It's not $5 million. That was too high. But like, we got him 50% retained. So like, I don't know.
No,
3
we're not
points
50% retained. No, he makes 4.6 for the Leafs from the Leafs on the Leafs cap. He was made a $6 million goalie, and they retain like 20-some%.
Right. That's right.
And yeah, they retain like $2 million or some $1.8 million or something like that. But yeah, so he's like a $4-some million goalie for the Leafs. But guess how much the Leafs have in cap right now with John Klingberg on LTIR? Enough money to bring Matt Murray back.
I don't want to waste that on Matt Murray though.
See if he got something. I don't know.
What if he's got
No.
Yeah, was there something
Not see if you got something.
I don't know. Anyways, why don't we get back into this tomorrow night, boys? It was a great game. GG's, Ted. That was a fun game for the Colorado Avalanche and the Toronto Maple Leafs. Leafs lose. Leafs lose 5-3, unfortunately. Except for one of those was an empty net goal. It was closer than you think. Next up tomorrow night, Toronto takes on the Detroit Red Wings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Sportsnet Ontario. Detroit also coming off a back-to-back and are 2 points out of a wild card spot, 5 points back of the Leafs. Both teams are going to want that game. As always, we will be here post-game to share our thoughts and reactions, but for now, that's a wrap. Thanks for listening. Hit that like button. It's super fucking easy. Just hit click, like. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it. We love you. Like it on whatever platform you're watching or listening on. Subscribe on YouTube. Rate us 5 stars, all that fun jazz. Find us on X at STDP Hockey and search for Split the Defense on all other socials. Until next time, peace.
Peace.
You've been listening to
Split the Defense.
Leafs Post-Game Edition. Hosted by Jordan Webster, Craig Pearce, and producer Ted Evans.
Split the Defense.
Is presented by LaForest Electrical Contractors. Professional and efficient service since 2004. Serving the Kingston and surrounding areas.